What's up, folks? I'm Mike for CMCC Builds, and this is the Gauntlet. If you're unsure what the Gauntlet is, the intro overview video is linked below. Be sure to check that out. But very quickly, we're demoing builds by taking them through a series of difficult encounters that grind the characters up with the goal of seeing how a build plays quickly and hopefully enjoyably. This time, we're going to take the Polearm Master Zealot Barbarian for a test drive. If you're unfamiliar with the build, it was featured on this channel a few weeks ago, and is linked here and down below. Today, we will once again traverse the level 14 Gauntlet. The Barbarian is perhaps the class most diametrically opposed to the Wizard class, so this adventure will serve as a nice juxtaposition to that Gauntlet run. In one hand, a class that maximizes action economy and wields incredibly powerful spells, and in the other, a build that whacks things with a stick really hard. As we'll see today, this particular Barbarian has a pretty slick trick up his sleeve, if he wore sleeves. A quick refresher on how the Gauntlet works. The PAM Barbarian, we'll call him PAM? No, Barb. Yeah, Barb, sure, that works. Barb is a variant human, straight Zealot Barbarian, and brings with him two sidekicks. The Kenku Expert returns to aid his companions, but the Orc Warrior is replaced by a Changeling sidekick. Like the Orc and Kenku before him, the Changeling has all the Changeling Monster Manual abilities, along with the Spellcaster sidekick abilities. These include 4 cantrips, 4 first level slots, 3 second, 3 third, and a single 4th level slot. That's a big drop from what Nuke brought to the table, yet it's decently powerful. With an Arcane Grimoire, yes, I'm aware the sidekick isn't technically a wizard, so there's an attunement question, but I'm hand-waving that, sorry. With that Arcane Grimoire, the Spellcaster save DC is a very healthy 17. The Barbarian's only magic item is a +1 glaive, along with non-magical half-plate, because stealth be damned. I'm kidding, of course. This build has stealth proficiency to help offset the disadvantage from the half-plate. Other weapons include a hand axe and javelins for ranged attacks. Each character has 2 potions of healing, and all the starting equipment you'd expect for their respective archetype. Special thanks to all my patrons. You are all amazing. For those of you who aren't a patron, check out my Patreon links below for cool perks, including the special guest we'll have for the next installment of the Gauntlet. Special thanks to 2 Minute Tabletop for the map that is featured here today, to RT who designed the encounters, Ludic Savant who DM'd today's adventure, and of course the Oddfather who piloted the Barbarian. Let's set the scene once again, shall we? Feel free to skip ahead if you're already familiar with the encounter background. A Mind Flayer Arcanist has subverted a temple dedicated to a sea deity and is using it as a magical power source. This desecration has aroused the angry undead in the temple catacombs. Deciding it's not worth his time, the Flayer just flooded the lower caverns and denied anyone access to the bottom levels. The Barbarian and his sidekicks need to stop the Mind Flayer's ritual before it concludes in 4 hours. That means long rests are out of the question and short rests must be used judiciously. When the party reaches the dimly lit catacombs entrance, they wade across a foot or so of water, unaware that in just 2 short rounds the entire cavern will be chest deep in water, affecting everything from weapon attacks and movement to fire damage from spells. A quick look at the character's tokens. We have Barb here, excited and ready to hit stuff. The Expert here brings along his +1 short bow and a mundane short sword, while the Spellcaster here has the aforementioned Arcane Grimoire and studded leather armor. Trudging a few more feet forward, the party hears off in the distance the moaning of undead mummies. What they don't see are the invisible pair of water weirds sloshing in the rising flood. Roll initiative. The Water Weirds lead the way, followed by the Spellcaster, Barbarian, and Expert. The Barbarian only rolled a 13 despite advantage, and finally, pulling up the rear are the incredibly slow mummies. The Weirds make their stealth check, beating all 3 characters' passive perception.
Round 1.
The undetected Water Weirds dash past the cautious party. Like any good ambush predators, they sneak behind their unsuspecting prey, waiting for the right moment to pounce. The Spellcaster uses her single 4th level slot to cast Fire Shield, or more accurately, the Chill Shield, to deal cold damage to attackers. A smart move when traversing several feet of water, which would dull any fire damage. She then darts forward 30 feet. The Water Weirds wait patiently. Barb uses his bonus action to rage, and uses Instinctive Pounce to rush 60 feet toward the mummies. The Water Weirds do nothing. Barb, still quite far from the enemies, chucks javelins at a mummy, landing both and doing a combined 28 piercing and radiant damage from the Zealot's Divine Fury feature. Not included in that total is the Barbarian's rage damage because of the ranged attack. Apparently you can't throw things in anger, even if you use strength to do so. Can you guys hear that? That's me rolling my eyes into the back of my head. Fix this, wizards. The Experts go. He uses a bonus action to dash ahead to not so fast. Each of the Water Weirds attacks. One misses, but the other hits. A creature hit by the Water Weirds takes 3d6 + 3 bludgeoning damage, 15 here, and is grappled, restrained, and the weird attempts to drown the creature. Before being plunged underwater, the expert takes a deep breath and uses its action to help his allies. To close out round 1, the mummies take a turn. The first dreadful glare is the barbarian, who easily succeeds with a nat 19, no modifiers. Failing these saves is a big deal, as we saw in the first gauntlet. Both mummies approach the intruders, and the second mummy glares dreadfully at the spellcaster, who rolls a 7 and fails. The roll is barely within 5, so she avoids paralysis, but not the frightened condition.
Round 2.
The weird not constricting the expert swims toward the spellcaster and attacks with advantage. A 20 hits, but the elemental takes 10 cold damage from the chill shield and deals 16 bludgeoning to the spellcaster. More importantly, now the spellcaster is grappled, restrained, and drowning. She too can take a deep breath prior to being pulled under. With both characters holding their breath, their suffocation clocks have not yet begun, but that doesn't stop the weird from trying. It drags the mage to deeper waters. The second weird attacks the grappled expert with advantage and rolls a nat 20. A critical for 20 bludgeoning, it then follows suit and drags the expert into the depths, right toward the 9 hunter sharks that take their turn in the initiative order. The sharks engage the expert, surrounding him. Only 3 can get into range to attack. A single shark hits, dealing 14 piercing damage. It's not looking great for the expert right now. The spellcaster gurgles the words to a spell and misty steps 20 feet away to the corner of the broken bridge. She then fires off a Toll of the Dead on a nearby shark, which fails its save, taking 12 necrotic. Barb's turn. He slides up 10 feet and uses an action to recklessly strike at the mummies from 10 feet away with advantage. The first swing is a crit and the second hits. The bonus action attack also lands with the exact same rolls as the previous attack. The critical hit does a whopping 46 points of slashing and radiant damage, reducing the mummy to ash. This triggers the Great Weapon Master bonus action attack, which means the polearm's pommel attack can be replaced by a regular D10 attack. The two combine for 49 slashing. That's a 95 damage round. Not too shabby. The expert's turn. He's submerged, grappled by an unseen elemental creature, and soon to be drowning if he doesn't act. He attempts to escape the grapple, a DC 13. With a +7, that shouldn't be too... oh boy. Nope, a 10's not going to do it. But thankfully he has reliable talent, which turns that 3 into a 10 for a 17. Success. The Kenku uses his remaining bonus action to disengage and swims 15 feet past the sharks. The remaining mummy sidles over to the barbarian and strikes with a rotting fist. A 22 hits and deals 14 bludgeoning and 12 necrotic. Rage cuts the bludgeoning damage in half, but he still needs to make a DC 12 Constitution save or face some nasty mummy rot that will make it impossible to regain hit points. A 16 gets the job done.
Round 3.
The rising water reaches neck level before slowing. Weapon attacks now have disadvantage, movement is cut in half, all creatures gain fire resistance. The channel with the sharks is another 10 feet deeper than the rest of the chamber. The first water weird swims toward its escaped prey, a nat 20, auto hit. But realizing she's in serious trouble if she gets dragged back to the depths, the spellcaster fires off a shield anyway, hoping the armor class bonus will come into effect on subsequent attacks. For now, she deals 5 cold damage with the chill shield and takes 24 bludgeoning. As the mage feared, the weird drags her back into the deeper channel next to the bridge. The second water weird swooshes past the sharks and the expert to get a piece of the injured mage. It attacks and gets another critical. Yikes! The chill shield deals 10 damage, but the constrict attack deals 26 bludgeoning. The spellcaster looks real rough right about now. The shark's turn, and the feeding frenzy begins. They surround the expert and the mage from above and below, attacking in 3D. 3 bites land on the expert, and 3 land on the spellcaster, but 2 are critical hits. Oh boy. A combined 38 damage to the expert. The chill shield deals a respectable 21 damage to the sharks, but 43 damage to the spellcaster drops her to 0. She's down, unconscious, and more importantly, no longer holding her breath. A death saving throw is a 17, the first success. Barb takes a crack at the mummy that's right in his face. The disadvantage from the water is offset by the advantage from reckless attack, so a straight roll. A 25 hits and deals 27 slashing and radiant. The mummy is no more. The barbarian then uses a bonus action to rage again, and yes, this is raw according to Jeremy Crawford. Raging doesn't preclude you from raging again. This triggers the instinctive pounce ability, which allows the zealot to move the 30 feet needed to reach the sharks. Another glaive strike, this time with Great Weapon Master's -5, lands, dealing 22 slashing. The bonus action Rage means that the second Great Weapon Master ability can't be used. The expert, bonus action helpful, then takes out his short sword to attack with disadvantage. A 17 does hit though for 19 piercing damage. That's a standard expert turn right there.
Round 4.
The water weird attacks the Kenku, dealing 14 damage, knocking him unconscious. Both sidekicks are currently down. The weirds slide behind the barbarian, with the second attacking from behind. A 13 misses, and the 2 weirds pull back out of range. The sharks then dart in and out, trying to find room to attack the barbarian, who takes an opportunity attack with disadvantage on the first shark. Barb deals 24 damage with Great Weapon Master, but it isn't quite enough to eliminate the predatory fish. 6 of the shark's 8 attacks land, dealing a massive 77 damage, but it's halved due to the barbarian's rage. The 9th shark takes a chunk out of the expert, which gives him 2 death saving throw fails. 1 more, and the Kenku is no more. The spellcaster makes another death save, and rolls a 17 again, 2 successes. Barb's turn. 3 attacks, straight rolls because advantage and disadvantage cancels out. The bonus action attack misses. Attack 1 deals 34 slashing and radiant to the closest shark, killing it. The second attack deals another 28, not quite enough to fell the beast. The expert's turn. Rolls a 7 on his death saving throw. That's 3 failures. The Kenku expert has died. His total contribution to this combat? 19 damage. But the party has no time to mourn as off in the distance the 5 lobster-like trolls emerge out of the black waters. They dash into the fray.
Round 5.
The water weirds swoosh past the barbarian, attacking with advantage, and both miss. The sharks, however, won't be so unlucky as they score 4 hits and a critical for a massive 80 damage, again halved. Barb takes another opportunity attack at disadvantage, can't reckless off turn, and misses with an 11. You may question the use of Great Weapon Master's -5/+10 ability, but right now it's all about doing as much damage to eliminate these threats as quickly as possible. With the shark's low AC, that means using the ability even at disadvantage. The spellcaster, buried beneath a frenzy of sharks, is unable to stabilize. Even if she succeeds on her death saves, she will begin drowning because she can't actively hold her breath. At 0 hit points, she'll be forced to make saves again, and the cycle continues until she fails. It's at this point the barbarian takes a look at his fallen comrades and makes the conscious decision to not forego an entire action to swim through the sharks to an ally and feed them a potion underwater. Too many things can go wrong. If he's going to survive this encounter, he needs to do it the same way I spent my teenage years, angry and alone. The spellcaster dealt 58 damage, 46 of which came from the fire shield. The water weirds, which were killed before having a turn in the last gauntlet, have absolutely wrecked the sidekicks here today. Barb makes 2 more reckless glaive attacks and rolls terribly, missing both. The bonus action PAM attack does hit for 30 bludgeoning and radiant. The trolls keep on trucking, trying to get some action. Round 6, the water weirds dart past the barbarian, the first missing and the second landing a crit and dealing 26 bludgeoning. But now the barbarian is grappled, restrained, and pulled underwater. The sharks have a go. Another crit and 4 more attacks land for 66 total damage. Again, halved. If not for rage, this barbarian would have been dropped long ago. The sharks, cautious of the new crustacean-like predators, circle back away from the barbarian, affording him an opportunity attack, which he misses due to disadvantage. But it's the barbarian's turn and he's able to land all 3 attacks, dealing 60 damage to a water weird, killing it, and triggering the Great Weapon Master's ability, allowing for another weapon attack as a bonus action. That D10 weapon dishes out 26 to the nearest Chul. Free of the dead weird's grapple, Barb slides up 1 square. The Chuls, unsure where they stand with the sharks and water weirds, and sensing something else in the distance, simply stare at the barbarian and pass their turn. Round 7, the remaining water weird pushes in to attack with advantage, hits for 14 damage, halved, and then drags the barbarian away like a dog with his new favorite toy. The Hydra appears from its new lair, fresh meat. It dashes. Sensing their meal escaping, the sharks dart in for the kill. The first is hit with an opportunity attack as it enters Barb's reach, despite disadvantage at 23 hits, dealing 21 slashing, and killing the approaching shark. The remaining sharks take a passing attack with advantage, only 3 land, but they deal a combined 35 damage. But even with the barbarian's damage resistance, it's not enough. He staggers, now at 0 hit points. Relentless Rage allows for a DC 10 con save to be made to keep barbarians at 1 hit point instead of falling to 0. With a +8, all he needs is a 2 or higher to make it, and he rolls a nat 1. What the f? Barb drops to 0. No, wait! Rage beyond death. While raging, having 0 hit points doesn't knock you unconscious. If you would die during your rage, you can't until your rage ends. Right now, damage doesn't matter. Death save don't matter. All that matters is killing every last one of these creatures before his rage ends. And with 3 uses left and 2 potions of healing, there is a chance that could happen. Unless for some reason he doesn't attack or get dealt damage for a turn. So Barb grits his teeth, waves him on, and takes 3 more attacks, landing 2 of the 3 for 51 combined damage. The water weird melts into the dark water as dead. The Chuls have seen enough. They surround the prey that just won't die. A combined 10 attacks, 8 of which land for... damage doesn't matter at this point. The barbarian officially fails 3 death saves, so it's rage or die right now. What does matter, however, is the venom coursing through the barbarian's veins. He needs to make 8 saving throws against the DC 13 or face paralysis. The paralyzed condition means a creature can't take actions or reactions. No actions means no attacks. No attacks means no rage, unless something deals damage, so avoiding paralysis is going to be key to survival here. Fortunately, with a Constitution save proficiency, Barb is able to shake off the paralysis effect. Round 8, the Hydra moves closer, but with no way to kill the Barbarian, we'll skip ahead to the interesting bits. The Barbarian attacks, dealing 34 damage to a Trool. The two sides go back and forth, trading blows, each time the Barbarian able to brush off the effects of the poison, but after the 9th attempt to fight off the paralysis, he rolls a natural 2 for a 10. Fail. On his turn, Barb attempts to end the effects of the poison and succeeds with an 18, but that's his turn, no attack. It's the Trool's turn. All they have to do is not attack and it's over. Just sit back and the rage fee. Okay, they attack. And the two sides go back and forth again until Barb rolls a 12 on the saving throw, paralyzed again. At the end of his turn, Barb once again makes the save, but this time the Trool stand back, unsure what to do. They pass back the turn. The Sharks and Hydra stand off against each other, all unsure how to act against this immortal creature that can't die. The Barbarian starts his turn, having not attacked or taken damage. Rage ends. He takes a final breath and sinks back into the still waters. Silence. Then all the creatures dive toward the body and tear it to pieces. The Barbarian has failed. See you here next time, folks.